everybody, I just wanted to do a quick tutorial about how I curl my hair. I had a couple of people message me asking me to show a tutorial about how I curl my hair. So I'm just going to quickly blow dry my hair and then I'll come back and I'll talk you through how I curl it. So I'm going to turn off my blow dry really fast so that I can show you really quick a little trick that I learned recently. I know it's kind of dumb that I just learned it recently. I should have figured it out a long time ago. But if you want to get that flip that everybody does, you know how everybody does the deep part and then they have that kind of that flipper wave from back in the day. People used to do it, I think, in the 80s. But anyway, you blow dry your hair the opposite way and lift. And so you like lift your hair up at the same time. And you can even put a mousse in with your hair dry and kind of give it, you kind of put the mousse in the front here and you kind of blow dry it the opposite direction and then you flip it and it gives a good lift to that little wave. Just a little tip. Okay, now that I've blow dried my afro, which let me tell you, this is not even as crazy or scary as it usually is. I have a Brazilian blowout right now, and so my hair actually goes pretty smooth and flat. And I usually just run a straightener through big sections if I'm gonna go straight. But since we're gonna curl it, I'll just show you how I do it. I do it in sections. I'm pretty sure if you have thick hair like me, you're gonna do your hair in sections. You can't just curl like all of this together. So I take sections, and since I put in rock and oil before I blow dried, I usually just put a little bit more, not too much. Or if you have a spray heat protectant that you like, you can do that. So I do like maybe a dime size. I don't know if you're able to see that, but a dime size, and I just focus on my ends. And anything that's blonde, for me, I only have a little bit of blonde, but I really like to protect them against the heat. And when you're using a straightener to curl, which is what I'm going to be using today, it kind of pulls at your hair a little more, I feel like, rather than doing like the wrap method on a curling iron or a wand. So anyway, and I'm using, my straightener doesn't have heat settings, but this is a GHD. I'm pretty sure it goes to like 385 on its own. So it's not full heat, like some of those that are 450 can be really damaging to your hair. So now that I have my Moroccan oil kind of worked through there, I'll take a section from about my ear down. You don't want it too thin, so just depending on the thickness of your hair. But I do like a fairly big section because I like my curls to turn more into a wave. And so as you can see, like I've got some wavy pieces back there, and I'm OCD, so I will like straighten through that first because it drives me crazy. I can't handle having like different type of curl in there. So I'm just gonna quickly run my straightener just through the tops. I don't really touch the ends because I don't want to have too much heat on my ends. Okay, so just enough to where it kind of flattens it out. Okay, so I'm going to take kind of like an inch wide section, and then I start my straightener at the top and I twist it away from my hair and I go about a turn and a half, and then I kind of just run that slowly down, and it'll give it kind of like a, you see that, like a barrel curl almost. And so then I can just kind of leave all my curls uniform till the end, and then I kind of mess them up. And so then I'll take another 1-inch section. And so how I do my curls is all of them that are around my face, I curl away from my face. But then I alternate. So I curl this one away from my face, I'm gonna curl this towards my face, and I alternate all the way around. And sometimes I'll have 2 going back on one side, but I always like the ones going away from my face. I like the way that looks better. So then I take this section, I'm curling it towards my face, and I take it at about 1.5 turns and just kind of pull it down. You kind of have to go a little bit slow just so the heat kind of gets all the sections to get that curl. Otherwise your ends will just be curled and it really won't be a curl. So then this next one, I'll just go back to this side now. And this one's going to be away from my face. And you start at the top and you just do 1.5 turns and kind of just pull down. And then this one I'll do towards my face. Okay, so they look kind of real curly right now. But I will just do a couple more sections and then I'll come back when I'm at the top so you can see how I do the top. Okay, now I'm on my 3rd section. I just figured I would show you really quickly how I'm parting it off. Not that this is anything that tricky, but I take, like I said, probably about 1 inch section down each time. And since I have such thick hair, this takes me like 6 or 7 sections to get it all curled. But if you have thinner hair, I would take maybe 3 sections. Just do 3 separate sections. But you want to take bigger sections because that gives more of a wave than littler sections. So I'm keeping with the theme. So after I curled the hair, I kind of put it in front of me so that when I put a new section down, I can pull it up and it's not connecting with my curls. So anyway, keeping with the theme of curling away from my face, I'll take this section and curl it away from my face. And sometimes like that. It's a dead curl. Let's try it again. Okay, and see, I kind of like that when it doesn't curl too much, because when I shake that one out, it'll look really nice. And I do sometimes straighten just the root out to give it a little lift. And take another little 1 inch section and curl it towards my face. I could already tell I was going to have to do that one twice. It slid through a little too fast. Okay. And then onto the back. So I run a brush through some of my sections sometimes, because if your hair's curly and crazy like mine, you kind of need to separate it. You could just not do it, but again, I like to do that to smooth it before. So I run the brush through and then I curl it out. And then we finish this back section. Sometimes I just run my fingers, sometimes the comb. You'll kind of get your own little method down. On this side, I have a little harder time getting it flat. I'll try and explain what I mean right there. But instead of grabbing the curl, like bunching it at the side, I like to get on the underside of the hair, if that makes sense, like this, and then curl down. If that doesn't make sense, then ignore it. So what I'm doing back here now, since you can't see the back, is I'm taking my comb in my 1 inch section and I'm just going to straighten it all together at the root. And that gives it a little bit of a lift, but also for me it straightens my root where I do have some of that waving. So I will now pull down the next section. On this one I do a deep part, and so this is going to be like my last kind of curl section on this side. I do it different each time depending on where I'm going to part my hair. Since I'm going to do a side part right now, I'll probably part it a little above my deep part, because then I don't mind these curls being kind of weird directions and flipping it over. I kind of like that. Sometimes I do a center part and do it that way, and then flip all my curls that direction. So anyways, I'm going to take my last section on this side and curl them, and I throw that hair back now so that I just have this section, and it's pretty thick as you can see. It's about 1 inch. I've got my lovely baby regrowth right here, so ignore that. But I'll start this one in the back here, and on the very top section where it's going to be seen a lot, I do this one towards the back. And I start at the top and curl back and kind of drag it down. I don't like the way that curl looked, so I'm going to do it again. And I don't mind if it's a little bit dead. I think it needs to just be a smaller section. Sometimes if you take too big of a curl section, it just doesn't curl it right. So here's a smaller section. And I'm fine with that curling that way. I don't want them all to look too done. So this one will go towards my face. I'm going to take like a little bit of a thinner section because I don't want a curl like just being in my face all day long. And the rest of the ones on the top, like in the rest of this section, I'm going to do towards my face. Or away from my face, I should say. Just since it's on the top layer. Okay. Sometimes I can make that big of a section curl. I don't think I'm gonna try it. I think I'm gonna split that one. And I kind of split it at a diagonal sometimes just so that from the top it doesn't look like I have all these sections of curls. Okay. That is dead. I don't know if this section's not wanting to take curl today. That's good enough. Okay, so I'm gonna curl once, or probably 2 more sections on this side because I have so much hair. And then once I do the top layer, I'll pull you guys back in. Okay, so now I'm on my last section. And I'll push this hair all back. If you have long enough hair, put it to the side, to the side. And so then I take kind of like diagonal kind of sections in the middle there so that, again, they're not too uniform. And I comb through it and then I take it from the top and curl it down. That one died again. I'm going too fast on some of these sections. That one for me is pretty much good enough. I'll do a little bit right here and I'll do this the opposite direction so they don't tangle together. Okay. This one I'll do away from my face. And I do a little bit of a thinner section on the top because these seem to relax a lot more throughout the day. And this one I'll do towards my face and then the rest will be away from my face. Okay. And this, it's a little bit too big of a section to take it all. So I'll probably, again, split that and curl this part away. There we go. And then this part, I lift up and then curl away. I don't want to like flatten the root too much. My hair is pretty heavy, so it does take a little more for it to lift. I have just so much of it. Now that I'm done, I'm going to take my hairspray, and I'll show you guys the back as well. But I'm going to spray just, I don't spray very much. I don't like a lot of hairspray, but I just spray a little bit everywhere, just so it holds a little bit. And again, this is the big sexy spray and play that I showed you guys. And then here's the back. Okay, and so now that I have, enough, you know, I give an extra spray for fun. Then I kind of just shake my curls. So I don't like it to look too put together. And I have big hair, so, but see, I can flip my curls that way. And I feel like then the underneath isn't too done up either. But so, and then as you can see, I took my parting further. And some of those are curled different directions, and that's just kind of how I like mine to look. And if you wanted to finish it off with a little bit of the wax spray on your ends, you can. On day one, I don't like to be too greasy that early on. I do it when I'm on day 4 or 5 about to wash my hair. But this is the look. This is how I do my curls. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and like the video, and you can even share it. I'm going to try and do a giveaway soon for when I have people sharing the video, and I'll choose a random winner to win something, and I will post that in a later video. But catch me next time. Which way will I be able to